What's up everyone, back for another vlog, and in today's vlog I will be showing you the Shelfie beers that I'll be reviewing for the month of March 2024. So if you're unfamiliar with what Shelfie beer reviews are, they are reviews of beers that I can easily grab off the shelves here in the Buffalo, New York area, and I try to get a good mix of beers from some of the bigger regional, national, and international breweries, and I post Shelfie beer reviews every single Tuesday and Friday of each month. And in the month of March, there are 9 Tuesdays and Fridays. Therefore, there are 9 beers here in front of me, and they are in order of how I'm going to post them over the course of the month from your left to right, this being the first and this being the last. So let's go over the beers that I picked up for March. The first one, a lot of you should be familiar with because it is from Dogfish Head, and it is their iconic and classic 90-minute Imperial IPA. So it's a big Imperial IPA, comes in at 9% alcohol by volume, 90 IBUs, and the freshness on this, pretty damn fresh. It has a best by date of July of 2024. Now on the channel, the only minute beers that I've reviewed from Dogfish Head has been their 60-minute and their Utopia's barrel-aged 120 minutes. So I've not reviewed the 90 or the 120. Hopefully I'll get to the 120 later this year. Now the reason I haven't reviewed this one is because it's tough to find a fresh bottle of this, a single bottle that is. I could probably buy a 6-pack or maybe a 12-pack and get it relatively fresh, but when you buy singles of these old school, like classic beers that are year-round or core range, it's tough to find them relatively fresh. I would imagine this is no older than 2 months old and probably more in like the 4 to 6 week range as we speak. And that's pretty cool because I do not see this one that fresh that often. So the reason I haven't reviewed it until now is because of that. We're going to rectify it. So I've always enjoyed this one. I've always enjoyed this one a little bit more than 60 minutes. So I haven't had this in about 5 years. So revisiting this one, it's going to be a lot of fun. At least it is for me. Anyway, the next one, from the Kona Brewing Company out of Hawaii. They're a brewery that I've had a lot of beers from over the years, but I have not reviewed anything from them on the channel, so I thought I'd pick something up and give it a go. This is their Longboard Island Lager. So this comes in at 4.6% alcohol by volume, and it was bottled on December 12th of 2023, so about 2.5 months old, which is relatively fresh for a beer like this. And yeah, so Kona, I've had their, their Big Wave, is it Fire Rock Pale Ale? Fire Rock Pale Ale, I think. Their Pipeline Porter, and my favorite's their Cocoa Brown Ale, which I need to review at some point. This one I haven't had in quite a while. I've always enjoyed this one. It's just like a regular American lager, kind of a step up from like your macro lagers. And yeah, I thought I would grab it and give it a go. So I'm looking forward to that one. Next, we have a new release from Southern Tier, and this is their Citra Fox. So it's a hazy IPA, and underneath it says citrus notes from Citra and Mandarina Bavaria hops. Comes in at, I believe it's 6%. They have 6% alcohol by volume. And the freshness date on this one, best by August 7th of 2024. I think they give 6 months, so this one was probably canned on either February 6th or February 7th, so pretty damn fresh. This is, I think, not like a straight variant, but like an offshoot of their Lake Shore Fog, which I reviewed like 5 years ago on the channel, and I thought that was a good, like, Shelfie hazy beer. The mouthfeel is a bit lacking, but the beer as a whole is pretty good. So this is like the Citra version of it. So we'll see how it is. And I also want to show you the labels up close, as I typically do. Dogfish Head has changed the labels, I feel like, multiple times for a lot of their beers. I don't think Kona has changed a ton, but they do have them in bottles, or cans a lot now, as opposed to the bottles I see. And Southern Tier, a lot of their labels are very similar. It's like streamlined, Anyway, so we'll see how that one is. I haven't had a hop forward beer from Southern Tier in a minute. Next, we have from Fatheads, we have their Crumbleberry. It's a cinnamon and vanilla honey blueberry ale. At the bottom it says malt beverage with honey, blueberries, spices, and malt natural flavors. This one comes in at 5.1% alcohol by volume, 13 IBUs, and this was canned on January 29th, 2024, so pretty damn fresh. So this is basically like, I don't want to call it pastry version, but they're going for like a blueberry crumble. But this is just like their Bumbleberry, which is a honey blueberry ale with the addition of cinnamon and vanilla. So I'm looking forward to it. I reviewed their Stumbleberry last year, which was basically like a big imperial version of their Bumbleberry, and it was pretty damn good. So I'm curious to see how this one is. Next, we have a beer from the Boston Beer Company, aka Samuel Adams, and it is their, I'm pretty sure this is their spring seasonal, and it's Cold Snap White Ale. This is the 2024 release. So this is a white ale that comes in at 5.3% alcohol by volume, 10 IBUs, and it has a best by date of May 2024, so we should be good. Now, this is pretty much like an unfiltered wheat ale. They do, to me, it seems like Boston Beer Company, aka Sammy Adams, does a lot of like Belgian style wit beers. I feel like they have like 3 or 4 different ones, or they've reformulated over the years. And this is one of them. And full disclosure, this is one of the few seasonal beers from Sam Adams that I've never had. Not that I've not just reviewed, I've never had this beer, believe it or not, which is probably sounds insane to a lot of you out there. It sounds insane when I'm saying it myself, but yeah, I've never had Cold Snap. So curious to see how it is. I'm sure it's just a refreshing, wheat ale, and I'm fine with it. Next, we have another beer from Bell's. This is the 3rd straight month that I am reviewing a Bell's beer for the Shelfie beers. And a lot of people ask me what, qualifies as a Shelfie beer. And to me, it's basically pretty simple. If it's a beer I can easily grab anywhere in my area, whether it's a beer store, let's say a grocery store, even some bigger gas stations, and they're reasonably priced, and most of their core / year-round products are on the shelves, they qualify. Bell's definitely a Shelfie brewery at this point. Anyway, this is their big-hearted Imperial IPA, 9.5% alcohol by volume. When I do these reviews, I'll read a little bit more about the breweries and whatnot, but they've really leaned heavily into this hearted series. Two Hearted Ale is a classic American IPA at this point. The American Homebrewers Association pretty much ranks at #1 every single year, and it's a great old school American IPA. And then they started coming out with beers like this. They did their Hazy Hearted. I think, what is the other one? Like Little Hearted. They've done a Cold Hearted. They've done a bunch. And the freshness on this, best by July 28th of 2024. So I'd imagine relatively fresh. I have not tried this one. I saw it. It looked fresh. I'm like, let's give it a go. Next, we have another beer from Amagang. Now, last month for Shelfie Beer Reviews, I reviewed their iconic Hennepin Saison Farmhouse beer, Farmhouse Saison. And at the same time, I picked up this and their wit. I reviewed the wit with another good friend of mine and a fellow beer tuber, Kyle, over at No Hype Beer Reviews. On his channel, we did a duo review, and I wanted to pick up like their classic beers and kind of revisit them and review them. I picked this one up at the same time I picked up Hennepin because I knew I was going to review this in the next month or two. So anyway, their Abbey Ale is a Belgian-style double ale with licorice root, orange peel, and spices. Now, much like the Hennepin, this has a best by date of way, further away than I thought the actual bottle on date would indicate. So this is best by December 29th of 2024. We got a long time before this is bad or expired, according to the brewery, right? But this has a bottle not date of December 29th, 2022. So Hennepin, they give 18 months shelf life. They give this beer 2 years. And when I picked it up, I did not know it. So this beer is going to be like 14 months old by the time I review it, maybe even a little bit over that. So the Hennepin was 14 and a half months old, held up extremely well. I think this will be the same case. Next, we have from Von Trapp Brewing, we have their Schwarz, aka black lager. So this is a German-style Schwarzbier. A black lager, comes in at 5.2% alcohol by volume, and has a best by date of what is that? June. I think it says June 3rd of 2024. So we got like 3 months. We're more than good. So I have never seen this one. I don't know if this is a newer release or something that just hasn't showed up by me, but I love darker lagers in general, whether it's like a Czech style dark lager or a German Schwarzbier. I just like them. They just do more for me than most, and that sounds like it might be quite tasty. Now, finally, we have a beer from Trappist Brewery, and it is Veshmala. They are out of Belgium. I always want to say Belgian instead of Belgium, but they're out of Belgium, and this is their Trappist Tripel, aka Triple. So this is a Belgian Tripel that comes in at, it's a big beer, right? It's like 10 something, I thought, right? No, it's 9.5% alcohol by volume, and this was bottled on August 30th of 2023. They give 2 years, therefore the best by date is August 30th of 2025. Now, to me, this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, authentic Belgian Tripel. I don't love the style. I mentioned this a lot on the channel when it comes to Belgian beers. I love Belgian dark beers, like your Belgian strong darks, your Belgian quads, your Belgian doubles, things like that. When it comes to the Belgian tripels, the Belgian strong pales, the Belgian pale ales, the Belgian vit beers, saisons and farmhouses, they're just not as good for my palate as the darker beers. However, I always found this to be one of my favorite as a tripel. So I'm curious to see how this one, how my palate accepts this one nowadays. I still like tripels if they're well made, and this one, obviously fantastic back in the day. I haven't had this beer in a long time. I cannot wait to review this one because I'm very curious. So those are the 9 beers that I am reviewing in March of 2024 as far as Shelfie beers go. We have a decent mix. I didn't realize this, but when I started setting this up to, on camera here, I realized that like this is basically like a Belgian style vit beer, a Belgian style double, and then a Belgian tripel. So I got 3 Belgian beers, which you'll probably never ever see again on Shelfie beer reviews. We got a couple different IPAs. We have a Highland lager, American lager. We have like a fruited beer. We have a German Schwarzbier. And I think we got a decent mix, and I'm looking forward to it. A lot of, it's a good mixture of like lower ABV stuff and some big imperial beers. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So like I always ask you guys when I do this vlog every month, what are you looking forward to the most as far as me reviewing these beers? Like I said, this is the one that I'm revisiting, haven't had in a while. I want to review it, and I want to see what I think about it. I'm curious to see how 90 minutes stacks up, but at the same time, I want to see some new hop forward goodness from Southern Tier. I don't know what to expect out of that one. And also the Almond Gang. But honestly, I picked these up because I want to revisit them. So I want to try all of them, but those are the ones that kind of stick out to me. So post in the comment section what you're looking forward to the most as far as the reviews go. I appreciate everybody stopping by for another vlog. If you've had any of these beers at all, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about them and what can I expect from a lot of these beers, especially the ones I've never had before. So I appreciate it. Be on the lookout for all of these reviews over the course of March. And until the next one, cheers.